Welcome to the In Factor, where every week I share an In Factor that is a key that helps unlock your personal success. Today we're going to talk about how comfort can kill your goals. Now, I want a lot of interaction with you guys in the comments because this is a deep dive into your personal psychology of either success or failure. Comfort is a huge topic for human beings. We like to be comfortable. So we have kind of this dual nature where part of us really loves to be comfortable and stay exactly where we are in our cozy little bed where there's no loud noises, no challenge, no nothing. And another part of us wants to grow. It wants to be big. It wants to go out. A part of us wants to go out and be excellent. It wants us to be outstanding. It wants us to go out and take risks and say, hey, ignore that other half of yourself. So let's talk about what you need to do to become successful around comfort. And my favorite analogy here is containers for plants. Let's say normally from day-to-day life, you were this little plant in a little 4-inch container, and you decide one day, I want to invest, and I want to invest $1 million before I retire. And so you make that goal and you start changing your habits. Maybe you change the course of your career and you're making more money. And as you go along, you notice something that you're getting too big for your little container. And so you start looking around now. This little container isn't going to hold you anymore. So what are your options? Well, there are really only two options. You can either find a larger container like this is 16 inches and 6 inches across the bottom. You're a bigger plant now. You need room to grow. You need different soil. You need all kinds of different things here to stay this big. And there are only two ways that you can do this. You're a bigger plant. You can either keep growing and put yourself in a bigger container, or you can chop yourself back down so that you fit in this small one. And I'm going to set this down so you can see it. So what this analogy is about is, are you going to focus on growth in your life, or are you going to rely on feelings of comfort? How are you going to make these decisions? Now, some comfort, it's totally normal to want that. But remember, the only reason why something is comfortable is because it feels normal to you. So a good way to think about this is, if I want to keep growing, I have to put myself in a larger container, stretch that comfort zone, and find a way to make that the new normal for yourself because you want it. Now, in those comments below, I'd love to see you talk about, when was there a time in your life where you grew so much that you felt uncomfortable and it literally put you at this point where you had to decide between keep being uncomfortable so you can grow, or chop yourself back down so you can fit a little smaller. And of course, we do a deep dive into every single In Factor every week in my email list, so go ahead and subscribe. But we're going to get to the crux of this whole thing, and that's, there are only two ways you can think about your own growth towards a goal. That's, you can sacrifice your growth on an altar of comfort, or you can sacrifice your comfort on the altar of personal growth. I'm going to ask you this week, challenge yourself, which one is the most valuable to you? And what are the steps you're going to take to make sure that you keep growing? And how are you going to handle when you feel uncomfortable? What is the dialogue you're going to have with yourself? What is the dialogue you're going to have with other people as you outgrow smaller containers? I wish you all the best success towards your goals, and I'd love to hear about what you think about this topic.